The WNBA's tough girls are officially on notice. Indiana just assembled the basketball version of a security detail for Caitlin Clark, and those cheap shot artists are shaking. After watching their superstar rookie get knocked around like a human pinball machine all season, the Fever front office went shopping for enforcers. Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Brianna Turner and DeWanna Bonner aren't just veteran players. They're the basketball equivalent of bodyguards with jump shots. The days of open season on Caitlin Clark are over. Let's rewind and remember what Caitlin Clark's rookie season really looked like. Sure, she shattered records and brought millions of new fans to the WNBA, but she also got absolutely pummeled game after game. This wasn't your typical welcome to the league rookie treatment. This was something else entirely. The numbers don't lie. Clark was on the receiving end of 17% of all flagrant fouls in the entire WNBA last season, one player taking nearly a fifth of the league's most violent fouls. That's not coincidence. That's a target on her back. And who led the charge in this Clark hit parade? The Chicago Sky delivered a whopping 80% of those flagrant fouls against her. Apparently their defensive strategy was less about stopping shots and more about stopping heartbeats. Remember Angel Reese laying Clark out on a drive to the basket that left fans gasping? Or Chennedy Carter's dead ball shoulder check that somehow wasn't considered a flagrant? How about Dajanai Carrington denying she even poked Clark in the eye despite clear video evidence? I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye, Carrington claimed after that incident. That doesn't even make sense to me. I didn't know I hit her actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball. Sure, Dajanai, and I'm trying to make a play on the remote when I accidentally changed the channel during Sky games. The pattern was clear. Certain players thought they could intimidate Clark with physical play that crossed the line from competitive to dangerous. But here's where they miscalculated. Clark never complained, never made excuses, and never backed down. She just calmly adjusted her ponytail and dropped 30 points on their heads. As comedian Michelle Rappaport put it, she needs an enforcer. She needs a brute that will wreck people if they wreck her. Where is Karen Butler? Doesn't her team have like a Zaza Pachulia or a Rasheed Wallace? She needs a goon on her team. Well, Michelle, your prayers have been answered. The Indiana Fever just went shopping for enforcers, and they didn't just get one, they got four. Let's start with the biggest acquisition, Natasha Howard, the head of this new security detail. We're talking about a three-time WNBA champion and former Defensive Player of the Year who knows exactly what winning at the highest level requires. Howard isn't just experienced, she's feared. She doesn't do subtle. She sends messages with blocks, boards, and the kind of mean mug that makes even the boldest forwards take a step back. She's here to anchor the defense and deliver a simple warning to anyone with dirty fouls on their mind. Try it. We dare you. Start off with trust. Howard said about joining the Fever, we got to make sure we trust each other. That's one thing we need to dig in more deeply, is trusting each other. Trust is nice, Natasha, but what Clark really needed was someone who could make opponents think twice before trying anything shady, and Howard fits that bill perfectly. But Natasha Howard isn't just here to throw elbows. She's also an elite two-way player coming off a season where she averaged 17.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, and almost 3 assists per game. That's serious production. She's also a legitimate threat from deep, giving the Fever another floor spacer who can help open the lip for Clark's wizardry and Aaliyah Boston's post-dominance. The list of players who averaged both 18 points and 7 rebounds per game last season is short and elite. Aja Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Nafisa Collier, Brittany Griner, and yes, Natasha Howard. That's the company she keeps. Howard's impact goes beyond the box score. With over 50 playoff games under her belt, she's exactly the kind of steadying presence this young Indiana team needs. And make no mistake, she's not just excited to be here, she's locked in. I'm excited to return to Indiana and bring my experience and toughness to the team, Howard said. I want to help Caitlin and the Fever compete at the highest level. That's leadership. That's purpose. And that's exactly what Indiana was missing last season when Clark was getting mauled on every drive to the basket. The message is clear. If you're coming for Caitlin Clark, you better be ready for Natasha Howard. But the Fever didn't stop there. Enter Sophie Cunningham, perhaps the most feared agitator in the entire WNBA. If you thought Indiana was getting bullied last season, Cunningham is here to return the favor. Everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet, Cunningham warned after signing with Indiana. This should be really fun. Fun for the Fever maybe. A nightmare for everyone else. Cunningham isn't just a player who can shoot threes, though she does that extremely well, hitting 37.8% from beyond the arc last season. She's got the grit and toughness to stand her ground when things get physical. And in today's WNBA, that matters. Caitlin Clark was getting hit a lot. She was getting hit a lot early, and they needed their Charles Oakley. One analyst noted, "You've got that in Sophie Cunningham." There are countless videos of Cunningham starting on-court confrontations, getting in opponents' faces, and playing with an edge that borders on reckless. But that's exactly what Indiana needed, someone willing to match the intensity of those targeting their star. What makes Cunningham such a perfect addition isn't just her toughness, it's her fit alongside Clark. As a deadly three-point shooter, she'll be camped out on the perimeter waiting to capitalize on the open looks Clark creates, and when she gets hot, she's unstoppable. The style of play that you guys are playing here that Stephanie White is going to bring here, it's running and gun, it's shooters, it's motion offense. Cunningham said, "My eyes lit up like a Christmas tree." On paper her numbers 8.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, 2.0 assists, might not blow you away, but her impact goes far beyond stats. She's the glue player, the agitator, the clutch shot taker. She's not afraid of the moment, and she's not backing down from anybody. A big shot is a great energizer. A great pass is a great energizer, but when you can get 3 stops in a row, and you get the crowd into it, and you frustrate the other team, that's the tough stuff that I like, Cunningham explained. Oh, and did we mention she's a Taekwondo black belt? Yeah, good luck trying to intimidate her. This addition changes Indiana's identity. With Cunningham on the wing, defenses can't collapse in the paint. If they do, she's punishing them from 3. And on the other end, she's going to get in opponents' faces, throw her body around, and let them know the Fever aren't getting pushed around anymore. And we haven't even talked about the chemistry yet. Cunningham's fiery leadership, alongside Clark's cool under-pressure demeanor, creates the perfect blend of fire and ice. When Clark gets hard-fouled or trash-talked, Cunningham will be the first one in the ref's ear, and maybe in the opponent's face too. Then there's Brianna Turner, possibly the most underrated enforcer in the entire WNBA, now suiting up with the Indiana Fever. If Howard is the muscle and Cunningham is the agitator, Turner is the lockdown specialist. With back-to-back all the offensive first-team selections in 2020-21, Turner has made a career out of shutting down opponents and protecting the paint like her life depends on it. She's not flashy, but she's brutally effective. Opposing players don't drive into the lead when Turner's waiting. They think twice, pivot out, and pray she's not lurking nearby. Standing at 6'3" inches with a bullist athleticism and a defensive IQ that rivals the league's best, Turner is a human fly swatter. In 2020, she ranked second in the league in blocks, and her 2021 campaign was just as impressive, finishing top 6 in both offensive and defensive rebounds. "I think I'm really like a calming presence," Turner said about her game. "I feel like I never get too high, or get too low. People are like, why don't you smile more? Why don't you get excited? I'm like, I'm just chilling. I'm vibing, but I am really competitive as well. I like to run the floor, like to play defense, like to win. And I think the Fever was the place to be if I wanted to win." What makes Turner such a perfect fit for Indiana isn't just her skill, it's her mindset. She's a winner who brings grit, hustle, and that no-nonsense defensive mentality every championship team needs. And with the league's dirtiest players circling like vultures, Clark now has yet another wall of protection. Turner also brings something the Fever desperately needed: basketball IQ and defensive awareness. Last season Indiana struggled with rotations and help defense, often leaving Clark and other guards on an island against aggressive drives. Turner changes that equation entirely. And of course you have Caitlin, Turner said about joining the Fever. "She had such a phenomenal rookie season, so many great accolades, and I think jumping from season 1 to season 2, players can make a really big jump, so I'm excited to see her growth from year 1 to year 2, and I don't think she's reached her ceiling yet either." The Fever didn't just get deeper with this signing, they got tougher. Add Turner to the mix, and suddenly the paint looks like a no-fly zone. Indiana's sending a message loud and clear: you mess with Clark, you're going to meet a defensive nightmare. Rounding out the new Fever protection squad is DeWanna Bonner, another veteran with championship pedigree, who knows exactly what it takes to succeed at the highest level. While not as physically imposing as Howard, or as confrontational as Cunningham, Bonner brings a different kind of toughness, the mental kind. Bonner's arrival is about more than just Clark's protection, it's about redefining Indiana's entire game strategy. She brings basketball IQ that's off the charts, reading the floor like a seasoned coach, and knowing exactly where to be, when to rotate, and how to shut down elite scorers. That kind of on-court awareness is something you can't teach overnight. And for a Fever team packed with raw talent, but still growing into its identity, having someone like Bonner guiding them is priceless. "My first game in Indiana, we got to get a win," Bonner said simply, establishing the winning mentality this team needs. Her leadership doesn't stop on the hardwood either. Bonner is known for mentoring younger players behind the scenes, pulling them aside during practice, dissecting film sessions, offering valuable insights that only come from 15 years of professional experience. For Clark specifically, Bonner offers something uniquely valuable, a blueprint for longevity. While the physical enforcers handle the immediate protection, Bonner shows Clark how to sustain excellence over a long career, how to adapt her game as defenses adjust, and how to lead a team through both triumph and adversity. Together these four veterans create a fortress around Clark that transforms the Fever from an exciting young team into a legitimate championship contender. They're not just adding talent, they're changing the entire culture. Last season the narrative was simple. You could push Clark around, and there would be no consequences. Opposing teams took full advantage, turning basketball games into something resembling WW tryouts. The refs might call a foul, maybe even a flagrant if it was egregious enough, but there was no real pushback from teammates. That era is officially over. Now if you take a cheap shot at Clark, you're not just dealing with the officials, you're dealing with Natasha Howard's death stare, Sophie Cunningham's in-your-face confrontation, Brianna Turner's shot-blocking revenge, and Dawana Bonner's veteran savvy. It's the basketball equivalent of rolling up to a street fight, only to discover your opponent brought an entire security detail. What makes this transformation even more impressive is how perfectly these additions complement Indiana's existing core. Clark and Aaliyah Boston were already an electrifying young duo. Add Kelsey Mitchell's scoring punch and Lisa Smith's athleticism, and you had a team bubbling with potential. But potential doesn't win championships. Toughness does, experience does, and knowing how to protect your star player absolutely does. The Indiana front office deserves enormous credit for recognizing exactly what this team needed. They could have chased flashy scorers or highlight reel athletes. Instead they built a wall of protection and experience around their franchise cornerstone. This wasn't just about adding talent, it was a message. The Fever aren't content with compete, they're gunning for dominance, and they're doing it while making sure their franchise player doesn't have to eat the hardwood every time she crosses half court. Clark's haters have officially been put on notice. The days of open season on Caitlin Clark are over. The Indiana Fever aren't just ready to compete. They're ready to punish anyone who tries the same dirty tactics that became all too common last season. She needs an enforcer, Michelle Rappaport said. Well, Michelle, she's got 4 of them now, and the rest of the WNBA better take notice. The transformation goes beyond just protection though. These veterans fundamentally change Indiana's ceiling as a team. Last season, the Fever were an exciting young squad that showed flashes of brilliance, but ultimately finished 13-27, while out of playoff contention. With Howard, Cunningham, Turner and Bonner in the mix, they're suddenly a team no one wants to face in a playoff series. They can beat you in multiple ways. Clark's shooting and passing, Boston's post dominance, Mitchell's scoring bursts, and now an array of veteran weapons who know exactly how to impact winning. More importantly, they can withstand the physical pounding that comes with playoff basketball. No more pushing Clark around, no more cheap shots without consequences, no more thinking you can intimidate the Fever into submission. This is a team built not just to make the playoffs, but to make serious noise once they get there. The Eastern Conference just got put on notice. For Clark personally, these additions should translate to an even more spectacular sophomore campaign. Imagine what she can do when she's not constantly looking over her shoulder, bracing for the next hard foul. Imagine the freedom she'll have knowing her teammates won't tolerate the kind of treatment she endured last season. Clark already averaged 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 8.4 assists as a rookie, while facing unprecedented defensive attention and physical play. With proper protection and veteran guidance, those numbers could explode in year 2. The scariest part for opponents, Clark now has 4 high IQ veterans who understand exactly how to maximize her unique talents. Howard knows how to set devastating screens to free her for threes. Cunningham gives her another deadly shooter to pass to when defenses collapse. Turner provides elite rim protection that allows Clark to gamble more defensively. And Bonner offers a basketball encyclopedia of knowledge to help Clark read defenses even more effectively. This isn't just about protection, it's about optimization. The Fever have surrounded their generational talent with players who not only keep her safe, but make her even more dangerous. The timing couldn't be better either. With the WNBA riding an unprecedented wave of popularity, largely driven by Clark's arrival, the league needs its brightest star healthy and performing at her peak. Last season's physical tactics weren't just dangerous for Clark, they were bad for the product as a whole. No one tunes in to watch star players get knocked to the floor repeatedly. They want to see dazzling passes, logo three-pointers, and the kind of basketball wizardry that only Clark and a select few others can provide. The Indiana Fever understand this. They've made the necessary investments to ensure their franchise cornerstone can shine without constant fear of bodily harm. and in doing so, they've transformed themselves from an intriguing young team into a legitimate championship contender.